Okay, so Dr. Moore and Dr. Wilkie wanted us to watch Apocalypse Now. A lot of us do not have the time, but fortunately I do. So I'm going to be subjecting myself to 3 hours of Robert Ford. But Hard to Recognize is like one of my favorite books. So yeah, let's do this. Before we get started, I want to make some tea, cause okay, so we're starting the movie, and the intro scene, and we're into what I think is the aftermath of the Congo, but I'm not sure if it's
Everyone gets everything he wants. I wanted a mission. And for my sins, I gave weeks away and hundreds of miles up a river that snakes.
Men he believed were
okay, so we've just seen how insane
So he took matters into his own hands.
Kurtz has become, from being like an exemplary member of the army and the special forces and whatever.
This war of things
This is an important part.
irrational
Listen to this.
between good and evil. And good does not always triumph. Sometimes the dark side overcomes what Lincoln called the better angels of our nature.
Heart of darkness.
Every man has got a breaking point. You and I have. Walt Kurtz has reached his.
The Congo has corrupted Kurtz.
God say.
Yes, sir. Very much so, sir. Obviously, sir.
This is a really important part because Kurtz was a
Your
good
mission
man.
is to proceed
The
up the
Congo
Don River
corrupted
in
him.
a Navy patrol boat.
As the
Pick up
namesake,
Colonel
Heart of
Kurtz's
Darkness,
path at
the
New
book
Mumbai. Follow
exemplifies.
it, learn what you can along the way.
There's a
When you
crucial
find
part. So Captain Marla has to go up to Congo to kill Kurtz because Kurtz has become corrupted. But he's just been told that the mission doesn't exist at all. It has never existed. It will never exist. So, as far as anybody else knows, there is no mission. There is no Kurtz. Nothing happens in the Congo, but something does.
1964, he returned.
Marla has just made the observation that his Kurtz's career is, because Kurtz is like an exemplary
His report to the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
army officer. His career is like just a little too perfect. I don't know if that's an important detail or not. I can't remember.
During the next few months.
Okay, so I think Captain Commanding Officer Kilgore just tore up a pack of cards and laid cards over all the dead bodies so that they know, so that kind of like a marker, so they know who did this. That just goes to show how easy killing is in the Congo and in this place. It's become second nature, and it's absolutely horrible. They're finally going to the river, to the Congo, to the mouth of the Congo, but this double exposure, you can't even give it any justice, but it's beautiful. Okay, so once again, it's shown that killing is second nature to them. They'd rather focus on how the wave splits from the wind from the helicopter than the destruction of a helicopter with a wounded person in it. And all I had to say when that helicopter went down is savages, just savages. And it just goes to show how little they care about death and killing.
Right now, sir.
and how little value they put in it because it is so prevalent.
Yes, sir. That's good, son. Could you read a song?
Okay, so Kilgore's just said the famous line, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," which I'm sure a ton of people know. But also, a bomb was just dropped a little bit, like maybe 6 feet away from him. Not a flinch, not even anything. Okay, so Kurtz was kind of won over by the Congo slowly, not like all in one swoop. They kind of they kept trying to bring him back, but he kept doing things his way, and his way worked. But at a certain point, they knew they lost him. But now he's okay. So the crew finally knows, or at least the
I'm afraid that both
boat, the sailor, knows where they're actually going.
But my situation here has become a difficult one.
Marlowe has been keeping it a secret because it's classified for the entire time they've been going upriver. But now he's just told them. Okay, so Marlowe has just kind of discovered of his own volition that Kurtz's charges. So a lot of the stuff he's charged with, like murder, insurrection, and all this stuff, are completely insane and kind of. But yeah, so.
What you choose about this letter. As for the charges against me, I am unconcerned. I am beyond their timid, lying morality, and so I am beyond caring. You have all my faith. You're letting.
Okay, so we can already see how the Congo, the river is changing Marlowe, because, well, he's killed before, but in the army and in war, but now he just killed an innocent life, an innocent woman in a boat when she needed help. He just shot her, just because.
Well, after they shot her up.
Well, yeah, but they shot her up. But he also, like, they were gonna help her, but yeah, we can already see how the uncertainty is kind of affecting the crew, because in the same scene before Marlowe shot her, they had shot up the entire boat because she ran for a puppy.
Those boys are never going to look at me the same way again.
Yeah. In this firefight, they're all like so numb to whatever. They're all so numb to war and guns and the violence that like none of them are even really reacting. And even so far as Lance, who has a dog, is just tripping balls on acid. Man, this movie really is a love-hate relationship with violence and how it corrupts and disrupts people.
Do you know who's in command here?
Okay, so they've just went past the bridge, and now they're completely on their own. So no help from any government or any army. Oh my god, the imagery in this movie is fantastic. It's beautiful. I think that's the third time I said that, but it's just like, and the music too. Classical music with such violence and such raw, destructive power. I just realized I've been calling Captain Willard Marlowe the entire time. It's not Marlowe, it's Willard. It's based on Marlowe, but they've changed the name. I'm assuming for copyright reasons, because they kept, but I don't really know. Okay, so the woman just mentioned that there's two of Willard, two people, one that kills and one that loves, and I think that goes for the duality of human nature, to love and to kill, the good and evil, and the lightness and the darkness. Okay, so they're getting really close to Kurtz, which means they're getting super far down the river, and they're finally approaching whatever the corruption
It
is.
wasn't gonna be the way they call it back in the train.
Alright, I stopped for like a second. I got more snacks, and I got another cup of tea. Hot. Alright, let's resume. Violence and killing and degradation of moral character. I'm an English student. Okay, so this is a big part. He's at Kurtz's village, going through it, and it's so calm, and it's so unlike anything that we've seen before in this movie. And there's like tens of hundreds of tribal people, and it's like, listen to me, like, it's super calm, like, it's extremely calm, which is unlike any of the tribal encounters that are seen in this movie, because every single one has been firefights and noise and violence and just chaos, and this one is just peace.
It's alright! It's alright! It's all been approved! I ain't coming in there! Them bastards attacked us! Stop it with your son, man! Stop!
Hey, don't go without me, okay?
Kurtz
I
is
want to get a picture.
Kurtz has become revered as this like Jesus Savior type,
You can be me.
where he's like,
You can be
he's
right.
the God to these people,
He's fighting the war.
and he's
He's a great man.
so this photojournalist has completely switched. He's an American civilian. He's completely switched
I wish I
and
had
just
words.
taking pictures into
Wish I had
completely
words.
revering
I could tell you something like
this
the other day,
man,
you wanted to kill me.
regarding him as a poet warrior,
Because I took his picture.
and
They
completely
said if you take my picture again,
accentuating and elevating every little thing he does, like walk past somebody, like he doesn't recognize them or doesn't acknowledge them.
so you just lay cool. Lay cool. Lay back. Take it. He gets friendly again. He really does. But you don't
Kurtz
you
is
don't judge it.
Kurtz is this wild man, this
Don't judge it.
this great man, as the photojournalist says, and he's just a little man. So Willard and his crew, or what's left of his crew, have just seen the severed heads strewn all about Kurtz's camp. Heads on pikes, heads on just nothing is rolling around. But the point is, there's tons of heads, which again means that violence runs rampant,
He's wacko,
and
man.
the dark side
He's worse than crazy.
runs
He's evil.
rampant.
I mean, that's what the man's got set up here. Man, it's fucking pagan idolatry. Look around you. Shit, it's loco.
Then you help me.
Help you? Fucking A, I'll help you. I'll do anything to get out of this joint. We could blow all them assholes away. They're so fucking spaced out, they wouldn't even know it. I ain't afraid of them fucking.
The code is
I've made it
almighty, coordinates
2 hours and 20 minutes.
64712. It's all in there.
I've made it 2 hours and 22 minutes into this movie. It's going out of focus like crazy. Hold on. So I've made it 2 hours and 20 minutes into this movie.
Everything I saw told me that Kurtz had gone insane.
It's wild. Also, it's so long. I'm surprised I kept my focus for this long.
The place
Maybe
is full
it's
of
because
bodies.
it's for class.
No.
So they're building up the anticipation. They're not showing Kurtz's face, even though he's in the frame. and he's speaking right now.
Good.
Okay, so we've just seen half of Kurtz's face, and the way it's framed is just chilling, because we've spent about 2.5 hours kind of building up to, okay, Kurtz is this amazing guy who went corrupt, and then when we finally meet him, he's so calm, he's collected, and so set in his ways that it's fantastic. I love the direction of this movie.
The man's,
Okay, so what just happened now is the photojournalist said he's clearing his mind,
poetry out of the house.
but his soul
all
is
right?
mad. So it sets a very
And a
clear
voice.
difference from kind of the person's soul and their mind. So his mind is fine, his mind isn't corrupt,
He's got plans.
but his heart, his soul
I'm not gonna
is
help
filled
you.
with darkness. His
You're
heart,
gonna help him,
his soul is
You're gonna
mad.
help him.
It
I mean, what
got
are you gonna
corrupted
say,
somehow.
man, when
It
he's
got
gone,
corrupted by
huh?
the jungle.
'Cause he dies, when it dies, man, when it dies, he dies. What are they gonna say about him? What are they gonna say? He was a kind man. He was a wise man. He had plans. He had wisdom. Bullshit, man. Am I gonna be the one that's gonna set them straight? Look at me, wrong.
The scene right now, they're just so Willard and Kurtz are just staring at each other as almost as a what's it called? It's like as a show of will. It's a face-off of will. And then Kurtz just drops Willard's crewmate's head in his lap as he's tied up. Okay, so Willard has just killed Kurtz, or no? What the? I guess he hasn't. But the whole time he was trying to kill Kurtz, he was stabbing him. It was also overlaid with like jump cuts to a bull being massacred. So Kurtz is still alive, but barely. And Willard is just kind of left wallowing in what he's done, but what he came to do. But I think Kurtz has just died. Alright, so that was a wild movie. To describe it in one word, I'd probably pick chaos. 'Cause, like, it's just like the book. You really have to pay really close attention to exactly what's happening in the story at all times. Or else you get really lost. It differed from the book in a couple of ways. I think the characters were, I don't remember. I have read the book. I haven't read the book in about a year, but I don't remember some of the characters. So I think they're different. But overall, it's a fantastic movie based on a fantastic book. It's one of my favorite books. But I think like this movie, as well as its counterpart, deals heavily with the quandary and the morality of good and evil, and whether good always wins. Because as I can't remember who it was in the beginning. I pointed it out before. Good doesn't always win. Evil sometimes prevails, and I think this movie is kind of an exploration of that. And I think it also has to do with the corruption that happened because this movie is based in the 1900s, right? Right as the kind of the Scrabble for Africa, where every single country in the world, or not every single country, but a lot of countries in the world, were kind of grappling for different parts of Africa. And the Congo was one of the better parts, and it was viewed as a business venture. And you'd go there to get stupid rich. But I think this movie really, really beautifully kind of portrays how kind of money and greed and power can corrupt somebody, and not even the mind, because as we've seen, Kurtz's mind is clear, but his soul, his heart is driven mad. It's driven dark. And I think it's just a fantastic movie and a fantastic book. But I'm going to leave it here. I will see. Well, I mean, I'll see you guys in the next video. But for all my classmates that stuck watching this, which is who this is mainly for, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And I hope you got anything out of this, because this is my first time watching it. And I know a lot of people just genuinely don't have the time, and I had the time, so why not sacrifice 3 hours for myself and watch this. It's only $5. But if you do get the chance to, and this is to anybody, if you do get the chance to watch this movie, I'd really recommend watching it. But if you go in blind, you probably won't understand a lot, or not a lot, but it'd be hard to pick up on the nuances. But it's still a great movie. It's still an absolutely amazing movie. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, or as my classmates. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Actually, that's regardless. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do, and peace out.